Hello students, today we will learn about e-commerce and e-governance. First, we will see about e-commerce. What is mean by e-commerce? First, in that we will see what is mean by commerce. Commerce means anything or any service we buy or we sell. We buy or we sell. That process means commerce. Commerce means what? Buying or selling any product or any service means commerce. And e-commerce means what? E stands for electronically. E stands for electronic or electronically. The same process that is commerce we do electronically means e-commerce. Means if we want to define, how we can define e-commerce, the process of buying or selling of goods or services. The process of buying or selling of goods or services by using an electronic medium like internet means e-commerce. Means we are doing exchange, paperless exchange of business information. In that we can exchange the business information by using EDI. EDI means electronic data interchange, by using email or by electronic fund transfer. In this we are doing paperless exchange of business information. So the things which we carry electronically, which things, the things or which process, the process of buying or selling of goods or services means e-commerce. Students, you did shopping or you are doing shopping every day, might be after some certain interval of day we are doing shopping. We like to do shopping. How we are doing shopping? For that, first we are thinking what we need to purchase, what we need to buy. Then what we are doing? We are searching for the shops where we can get that things easily, or the things how we like that things where we can get. We find out the shops and then we are visiting that shop. Once we go to shop, then what we are doing? We are asking for the things whatever we want. We are checking the things. We search for the brands, which brand we want. That brand is available. What is our budget? Does that thing come in our budget or not? We are checking that and then we are purchasing that thing. We are paying money for that. We are receiving bill and then we are getting our thing and we are coming out. This is normal process of shopping, or this is usual process of shopping. That means trading shopping we are doing in our day to day life. But nowadays there one more concept came, that means online shopping. Online shopping means what? However we doing our traditional shopping, the similar way we are doing shopping, but by using internet, computers, mobile. Means online shopping we are doing. What we are doing in that? In that we are visiting the online shopping websites. We are searching the products whatever we want. We are comparing that products of multiple brands. Then we are checking the qualities, we are checking our budgets, and then we are putting the orders to purchase that things. So these things we are doing in online shopping. So this online shopping is a part of our e-commerce. Online shopping is part of our e-commerce. In e-commerce, we are doing both the things which we are buying, we can buy as well as we can sell the product online electronically. First, we'll see what are the differences between traditional commerce and e-commerce. We already studied. Commerce means what? Commerce means buying or selling of goods or services. Means commerce. So traditional commerce means what? In this, exchange of products or services, means buying or selling of products or services through personal interactions. Through personal interactions. That means traditional commerce. In e-commerce, there is no personal interactions. All the things we are doing online by using internet. These trading activities we are doing online by using internet. That means e-commerce. We are not meeting anyone personally. We are not visiting any shop personally. In traditional commerce, we are visiting the shop personally. Second difference is traditional in traditional commerce we can do the business in only limit means it is having time limitations. Time limitations means shops are not 24 by 7 open, right? So whenever the shop is open, then only we can go, we can visit that shop, and then only we can purchase or we can sell our product or service, whatever we want. But in case of e-commerce, these things are not happening. Whenever we want that thing, we can get up, we can on our computer, we can on our mobile, we can take our mobile and we can put the order. We can search our product and we can put the order. Similar way, we can sell the product also like that. There is no any time limitation. Third difference is that in traditional commerce, it provides face-to-face interaction. But in e-commerce, it provides screen to face interaction. It provides screen to face interaction. Means we are facing to computer screen or mobile screen or our tablet screen. We are not seeing the actual product. We are seeing the images or pictures of that product on screen. Fourth difference, in traditional commerce, same as time, it has limitation of area also. Means in one day we can visit to limited shops, or we can go to only limited area. But in case of e-commerce, there is no limitation of area. We can globally do e-commerce. It has no any physical limitations. Means within a second, within very small period of time, we can search the things globally, whatever we want. So it has no particular limitation of any geographical area. And in e-commerce, in traditional commerce, it has limitation of particular geographical area, but e-commerce, it has no geographical area limitations. In traditional commerce, how we are paying after purchasing of the things or products? We can pay money by cash or by check. We can use our credit card or we can do mobile payment also. In case of e-commerce, we can do cash on delivery payment, or we can do card payment. We can transfer money online, means bank transfer, or we can use our e-wallet also. We are going to see in our next, this is our next topics, that modes of payments. In that we will see in detail how we are paying money. In traditional commerce, we can pay money by cash, check, or we can use credit card, or we can do payment by using mobile payment. But in case of e-commerce, we can do cash on delivery payment, we can do card payment, or we can use bank transfer or e-wallets for payment. Next, delivery of goods and services is instant. In traditional commerce, as we are going or visiting the shop directly, we can go, we can see the things personally, and and then we can take our goods or product whatever we want and we can come out, means instantly we can purchase our goods or services in case of traditional commerce. But in case of e-commerce, it takes some time. Delivery of good or services we are not taking instantly. It takes some times, 1 day, 2 days or week. It depends on the area or depends on the product. It takes some time. Next, in traditional commerce, it has local scope. Local scope means we are going locally to the shop, or we can see only local products which are going, means which are very famous or which are useful by that locations. But in case of e-commerce, it's not like that. Means we can, it is having global scope. Means globally the things which are people are using that are available in e-commerce. But in case of traditional commerce, the things of availability of the product has local scope. But in case of e-commerce, it's not like that. It has global scope. Next, we will see advantages of e-commerce. What are the advantages? First advantage is global scope. That means the sellers can sell products with a global reach, or buyers can get the products which are available throughout the world. It's not like that. The things which is locally available, that only we are getting. It's not like that. Means the e-commerce is having global scope. Means the things which are available globally, we can take that things. Second advantage is electronic transactions. So as we are doing electronic transactions, means modes of payments we are using, like credit cards, e-wallet or mobile payment, or others like bank transfer and like that. So it reduce the it reduce our work, it reduce the paperwork. Third is cost saving. As we can check multiple, means the same product of multiple brands, we can compare it cost wise also, we can compare it quality wise also, and we can get the better product or cheaper product, we can say. So it is cost saving. E-commerce is cost saving. Next, anytime shopping, means it has no any time limitation. 24, as the site is available 24 by 7, we can do shopping at any time. Next, no intermediaries. Directly we are going and we are visiting the website, so there is no any intermediaries in between. So it reduces cost also, it reduces cost also, and it allows for quick communication and for transaction also. So it saves time, it saves cost because of no intermediaries. And last advantage is public services. This e-commerce is help to government to deliver public services. As public services, which kind of public services? Like healthcare, education, or social services with less cost. So this e-commerce is has great part in public services also, as it helps to government to deliver these services. Next is disadvantages of e-commerce. Disadvantage is what? As we are doing everything online, we doesn't need any paper, where it avoids our paperwork. It means it can, we can use cashless payment like that. So for all these things, it needs setup of hardware, it needs setup of software. We need trained employees, well trained employees for these things. we need to maintain the service. So it all things increase setup cost. So the setup cost is high in case of e-commerce as compared to traditional commerce. Second disadvantage is we are not going physically and we are not choosing any product physically by touching that product, by seeing its quality. Everything we are doing online. So sometimes, so sometimes, it may um, it may be lack of some services also. Lack of some services means it may means we may not happy after purchasing that product as it's seen online. It's not look like that, and we are not getting that satisfaction after purchasing. So it may be happens because of physical lack of physical presence. Third one is security. As we are giving our credit card details while purchasing the product, if we are paying money by using credit card, we need to give some details of our credit card. So it may be harmful for us in the case of security. Next one, next disadvantage is delivery of goods or services or product. Might be some problems come, might be some problems came with delivery of that product or that services or that goods. Where the problem may be anything, means it can come late, or at the time of shipping that product may be break down, or it getting mixed up with other ones, like that problems can come. So customer became unhappy or dissatisfied at the time of delivery. So these disadvantage are of e-commerce. Which are those? Setup cost is high. Second, lack of physical presence. Next, security issue also, as we are giving our credit card details, it may cause security issue. And goods delivery, there may be problem with goods delivery. A problem like the product can be break, or it may not come on time, or it can be mixed up with others one, like that delivery problems can come in case of e-commerce. Next point is types of e-commerce. So in case of e-commerce, who are the participants? Depending on, there are four types of e-commerce. Means who are the participants? Participants may be businessmen, business to business, or business to consumer, or consumer to consumer, or consumer to business. Depending on that, there are four types of e-commerce. First one is business to business. Business to business means in this the participants are, one business is going to sell or buy services or goods or products to other business. For example, our wholesalers means what, whenever we are going to our shopkeeper to purchase anything, it's not like that shopkeeper is preparing that thing by its own, right? That shopkeeper is also purchasing the same thing from other business or other shopkeeper. So the shopkeepers, wholesale shopkeepers, means one businessman is selling his or her product to other businessman, and they are selling to then consumer or customer. So first type of e-commerce is business to business, means business sell its product to an intermediator buyer. To an intermediator buyer means other businessman. For example, any wholesaler. Any wholesaler. Next type is business to consumer. In this short form of business to business is B2B. Students, keep it in mind. Might be for your objective question, you may get these questions like B2B is long form of dash dash. That means business to business. Second one, business to consumer means B2C. B2C. In this case, business sell business sell its product directly to consumer. Business sell its product directly to consumer means B2C. For example, our online websites like Amazon, Flipkart, they are selling their products directly to consumers or customers. That means B2C. What is the example? Like Amazon or Flipkart. In this business to business, what is the example? Wholesalers. Third one is consumer to consumer means C to C model. In this model, one consumer helps to other consumer to sell their product, to sell their services. For example, OLX or Quicker. These are online websites in that one customer is selling his or her product to other customer. That means C to C. This is third type of e-commerce. Fourth type of e-commerce is what? Consumer to business means C to B. In this, consumer means customer help to business to sell their product or their service. How? For example, a writer can write blog for any business which can do advertisement of the product or goods or service of that business. For example, a blog writer can write blog for any product or goods or services of any business. So, it is helpful for that business to sell their products or goods or service. That means C to B. So, these are the types of e-commerce. Which are those? B2B, business to business, B2C, business to consumer, C to C, consumer to consumer, and C to B means consumer to business. Next is trade cycle. Trading means whatever the steps we are doing at the time of commerce or e-commerce. Actually, what we are doing? First we find out or we look the things whatever we want. Then we see our budget. According to that budget, we negotiate the things or select the products. Then we are giving the order. Then we are getting the delivery of that product. As per that, we are doing payments. And after payment, if we want any services like maintenance, then we can get that services. So same in e-commerce, there are 4 main steps in trade cycle. In that, pre-sale, execution, settlement, and after sales. In first step, pre-sale means before selling of that goods or product, what we are doing? We are doing searching. What we are doing? We are searching and negotiating the product. We are searching and negotiating the product. Means we search the product whatever we want. We search as per brands, as per our budgets. We negotiate means we select, we compare the products, the different products, and then we choose the product. Next step is execution. Then we are putting the order for that particular product and we are getting delivery of that particular product. Third step is settlement. In settlement, it has again two subpoints like invoice and payment. In settlement, we are getting invoice, means bill of that product, and as per that bill, we are doing payment also. That is settlement step. And next, fourth, last one is after sales. After sales means if the product is in warranty, some electronic product, if we are purchasing some electronic products, then it is having some warranty guarantee like that. So the product is in, if the product is in warranty period, then that customer will get some maintenance services if they want, at free of cost or at minimum cost. So that things are coming in after sales step or process. How many processes in trade cycle? Pre-sale, execution, settlement and after sale. In pre-sale, two things, search and negotiation. In execution, again two things, that are order and delivery of the product. Settlement, invoice and payment of the product. And in after sales, the after sale process or services like maintenance services we are getting in after sale. So this is the e-commerce trade cycle. Next, modes of payments. How we can pay in case of e-commerce? First, in that, first by using credit card. Credit card, this is the common way for customer to pay online. In this, merchants can reach out to an international market also. If we use credit cards, by using that credit cards, we can go to international market also by integrating the payment gateway into their business. So first mode of payment or first type of payment is credit card. By using credit card, we can visit international markets also. Second mode of payment is mobile payment. Nowadays, this is very famous method to pay while shopping. Mobile payment. For that, we are having some apps like Beam app, UPI or Paytm, Google Pay, PayPal. Like these apps are available. So we can use that apps and we can do mobile payment. Third method is bank transfer. We are having bank account, right? So if we allow online transfer also, this is the process. If we use the, in that process, we can transfer money directly to a bank account of that person who is from whom we are taking that things, from the person or from the company from whom we are taking the things or products. We can directly transfer money to their account online. So bank transfer is third method or type of payment. In that, next, fourth method is e-wallet. E-wallet is a type of prepaid account. It is a type of prepaid account in which customer can store money. Customer can store money for any future online transaction. Actually, it is secured. It is protected with password. When we are using we want to use this wallets, we can we can open that account with our password, and then whatever the things we purchase, we can pay for that things by using this e-wallet. For example, State Bank Buddy or Paytm wallets, these are the example of e-wallets. Next, we'll see Forms of e-commerce. Forms means e-commerce. We have seen that we are doing electronically, but nowadays we are using mobile also for doing this e-commerce or tablet. M-commerce is one form of e-commerce. In that we are using mobile or tablets. And second is social commerce, means we are having social accounts. For example, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. These are the social websites. In that we are having our friends network. So if we want to sell or we want to buy any product, we can place the orders or we can place the advertisements for particular products on our social account. So our friend network is uh, our friends from our network can able to see whatever the orders we put or whatever the requests we put, and they are helping to us to purchase or to sell the things. In m-commerce, by using mobile or tablets, we can visit websites, online websites, and then we can sell or we can purchase the particular products or goods or services. And at the time of billing, we can do, as we have seen, we can use credit cards or we can use mobile payments or we can use bank transfers or we can use e-wallets for payment purpose. So these are the two forms of e-commerce, which in which one is m-commerce, means mobile commerce, and second one is social commerce. Next, in e-commerce, we have seen we are interchanging or we are exchanging the data. How we are exchanging the data? We are exchanging the data by using electronic fund transfer, or we are doing internet marketing, or we are doing online transactions, or we are exchanging data electronically, means electronic data interchange. In that you have one technology in detail, that is EDI. The long form of that is electronic data interchange. Electronic data interchange. The name is telling what is mean by this. Electronic data interchange. Interchange means exchanging data. We are exchanging data. We are exchanging information. How? Electronically. This is the process which allows one company to send information to another company. But how? Electronically. Instead of using paper, the companies are sharing their information electronically. That means EDI, electronic interchange of business information. Next one is, this is all about e-commerce. What we have seen in e-commerce, what is e-commerce? That is paper. What is e-commerce? Buying or selling of goods or services by using electronic medium, means e-commerce. Next we have seen traditional commerce. Difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of e-commerce? Next, types of e-commerce. How we are doing shopping, how we are doing selling or purchasing our goods or things, to whom. Depending on that, there are four types of e-commerce: B2B, B2C, C2C, C2B. Next, trade cycle. How the trade cycle is going on, which are the processes in that trade cycle. Next, modes of payment. how we can pay. Next, forms of e-commerce, and then which is the technologies we are using in e-commerce. In that, one technology is EDI. What is mean by EDI? EDI means electronic data interchange. Means two companies are sharing their information electronically without using any paper. They are sharing their information electronically. That means EDI. Next, we'll see e-governance. Governance, governance or government means what? Every country is having their own government, which is selected by people, right? So whatever the government services which are available, electronically, that means e-governance. That means e-governance. In this, information technology is helpful for delivering the government services or exchange of informations or communication transactions to peoples or to employees or to other government or to other businessmen by using electronic medium like internet. That means e-governance. E-governance means what? It is application of information technology to deliver government services, to exchange information, or it is a communication or transaction of various standalone systems in between government to citizen or government to business or government to government or government to employees. That means e-governance. What are the advantages? Why we are using this e-governance? So it is helpful to reduce corruption. As we are getting the services online, it helpful to reduce corruption, and it helpful to give high transparency. Next, it increase the convenience. No need to wait. Easily we are getting whatever the service we want. So it increases the convenience. Next, direct participation of constituents. No need of intermediaries. So it saves the time, it saves the money also. Reduction in overall cost. As there is direct participation, it reduces the overall cost. And expanded reach of government. Government is helpful to people or other government or businessmen or employees. Expanded reach of government. It is helpful to government to expand. This e-governance has having following advantages. Next, this e-governance, how it provides services, to whom it provides services. Depending on that, it has following types. Which one? First one, as we already seen types of e-commerce. Similarly, like that, there are type of e-governance. Means the participant. It depends on the participants. Who are the participants? If the participants are government and customer, then the type of e-governance is G2C. Means it helps to provide government services to customers directly, to citizens directly. Here customer is citizen. Citizen. For example, if we want to renew our license, we want to pay tax online. If we want to use that services, then this is type of e-governance, that is government to customer, G2C. Second is G2B, means the services are accessed by business. These government services accessed by business. That means G2B. In this, It helps to reduce paperwork, it saves time, it saves cost and gives transparency in the process. Next type is G2G, means the services are exchanged in between two governments. Two governments. Two governments. Which two governments? The government may be local or may be international. The government may be local or international. Means one government, uh, it provides the services in between local government or in between foreign government also. In between foreign means our local and foreign government also. So this type means G2G. Next, G2E means if the government services are exchanged in between government and employees, then it is G2E. What are the types of e-governance? Governance, if the services are exchanged in between government to customer or citizen, that means G2C. Next, if the services are exchanged in between government to business, that means G2B. If the services are exchanged in between local government or our local government and international government, then G2G. If the services are exchanged in between government to employees, that means G2E. So depending on participants, there are 4 types of e-governance. Next, security measures in e-commerce. Security, which kind of security or how e-commerce provides security? So e-commerce provide security by using 3 methods. First is encryption, second one is digital signature and third one is digital certificate. How it is working? First we'll see encryption. In encryption, not only encryption, actually decryption is also involved in this. So what is meant by encryption and decryption? Encryption means conversion of plain text. Plain means readable form of data. The text which can be read by us, which we can read. The text which can we read. The text, plain text means readable form of data. Conversion of readable form of data into cipher text. Cipher means coded form of data. Means unreadable form of data. The data which we can't read. Encryption means the another word is encoding. We are encoding our data. Means converting our normal text into coded information. That means encryption or encoding. And next, decryption. Decryption means what? Decryption means conversion of that cipher text into plain text. Means non-readable data into readable data. Or other word for decryption is decoding. Other word is decoding. For this encryption and decryption process, again it includes 2 ways, that is symmetric and asymmetric method. Symmetric and asymmetric method. By using symmetric method, secret encoding we are doing, and by using asymmetric method we are using public key. We are using public key, means for decoding, for encoding and decoding we are using this public key and private key. So first method is encryption or decryption. In that, while sending the data, we are encoding or we are encrypting the data, and after receiving the information, we are decrypting or decoding the data. Means though we lose our data or someone hacks our data, they doesn't get to know that what is the data. Why? Because at the time of sending we encoded it, and after receiving only we are decoding it. But if someone hacks the data, he doesn't know the meaning of encoded data. He doesn't know how to decode the data, because for that purpose whatever the keys required that are available with only us, that are not available with hackers. That's why they can't decode the data, so that they can't steal our information, they can't theft our information. So this is one method, that is encryption. In that, two ways we can use, that is symmetric and asymmetric. In that symmetric method, we are converting the plain text into ciphertext by using keys, and in asymmetric, these keys are shared keys, and in asymmetric method, we are using public key and private key. We are using public key and private key for encoding and decoding purpose. Next method is digital signature. This is also known as electronic signature. If we are sending the information and receiver gets that information, so after getting, if we want to check the data whatever we get, that is original or not, at that time we should check the digital signature. If the data is having digital signature, then it is unmodified data, that is original data. So this is the proof that the document is original document. So by using digital signature also, it provides security. And the third method is digital certificate. Digital certificate is means it is electronic password which allows the person or organization to exchange the data securely by using public key infrastructure, means PKI. This digital certificate is also known as public key certificates. It is having some information like public key. It is having some information. So by using that information, we can secure our document, or we can exchange our data securely over the internet. So, which are the three security measures? First is encryption, second one is digital signature, and third one is digital certificate. So students, this is all about e-commerce and e-governance. Thank you.